Demetrius, a wise and just judge, presided over the courts of the ancient city of Alexandria. Renowned for his fairness and insight, people would travel from far and wide to seek his counsel. One day, a young man named Theodoros stood before Demetrius, accused of stealing a valuable scroll from the great library. Theodoros protested his innocence. The evidence seemed overwhelming. Demetrius listened intently, his eyes piercing as he searched for the truth. He asked questions, his voice gentle yet probing. And then he did something unexpected. He asked Theodoros to tell him a story. Theodoros was taken aback but began to spin a tale of love, loss, and redemption. Demetrius listened, his eyes never leaving the young man's face. When Theodoros finished, Demetrius nodded thoughtfully. "I believe you, Theodoros," he said. "You are not a thief, but you are hiding something. Tell me the truth, and I will show you mercy." Theodoros hesitated, then revealed a surprising truth. He had indeed taken the scroll, but not for personal gain. He had done it to protect the library from a group of corrupt scholars who sought to destroy the scroll's content. Demetrius's eyes widened in surprise. He called for the corrupt scholars to be brought before him, and after a swift trial, banished them from the city. Theodoros, grateful for Demetrius's wisdom, asked how he had known the truth. Demetrius smiled. "A wise judge must listen not only to words but also to the heart. Your story told me more than you realize." And so Demetrius's reputation grew. People came from far and wide to seek his counsel, and he dispensed wisdom and justice with equal measure. Years passed, and Demetrius grew old, but his wisdom never faltered. Continued to preside over the courts, a beacon of hope in a chaotic world. One day, a young girl named Sophia stood before him, accused of witchcraft. Demetrius listened as the evidence was presented, his eyes never leaving Sophia's face. And then he did something unexpected. He asked Sophia to tell him a story. Sophia, trembling, began to speak of her love of nature and her desire to heal. Demetrius listened, his eyes sparkling with understanding. When Sophia finished, he nodded. "I believe you, Sophia," he said. "You are not a witch. You are a healer. And I will protect you from those who seek to harm you." And so, Demetrius's legacy lived on, a testament to the power of wisdom and compassion. He remained a wise and just judge, beloved by all, until the end of his days. As the years went by, Demetrius's fame spread far and wide. People came from distant lands to seek his counsel, and he dispensed wisdom and justice with equal measure. He became known as the greatest judge of all time, and his name was whispered in reverence. One day, a powerful king from a neighboring land came to Demetrius, seeking his advice on a matter of great importance. The king's son was accused of treason, and the king was torn between his duty to his country and his love for his child. Demetrius listened to the king's tale, his eyes never leaving his face. And then, he did something unexpected. He asked the king to tell him a story. The king was taken aback, but began to speak of his own childhood, of his struggles and triumph. Demetrius listened intently, his eyes sparkling with understanding. When the king finished, he nodded thoughtfully. "I see," he said. "You are not just a king, but a father, and I will help you find a way to balance your duty and your love." And so, Demetrius advised the king, using his wisdom and compassion to guide him. The king left, grateful for Demetrius's counsel, and the young prince was spared. Years passed. Demetrius grew old, but his wisdom never faltered. He continued to preside over the courts, a beacon of hope in a chaotic world. One day, a young man named Alexander came to Demetrius, seeking his advice on a matter of great importance. Alexander was torn between his desire for wealth and power and his desire to do good in the world. Demetrius listened to Alexander's tale, his eyes never leaving his face. And then he did something unexpected. He asked Alexander to tell him a story. Alexander began to speak of his dreams and aspirations, his fears and doubts. Demetrius listened intently, his eyes sparkling with understanding. When Alexander finished, he nodded thoughtfully. "I see," he said. "You are not just a young man, but a soul searching for its place in the world, and I will help you find your way." And so Demetrius advised Alexander, using his wisdom and compassion to guide him. Alexander left, grateful for Demetrius's counsel, and went on to become a great leader, beloved by his people. Demetrius's legacy lived on, testament to the power of wisdom and compassion. He remained a wise and just judge, beloved by all, until the end of his days. And even in death, his spirit lived on, inspiring generations to come.